Hi, my name is Madison. I work in the Dean of Students office here at UNCG, and today I'm going to share some information about some resources that are available to you on campus. So first, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Dean of Students office, then I'll go into the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities, and then finally we'll talk about some other important resources that are available to you on campus and that you might want to start getting connected with. But first, before we get started, I want to say welcome to the UNCG Community Spartans. We are so excited that you've decided to join us, and we want you to know that we're here to support you. The Dean of Students office is made up of people who are there to provide support for students for a variety of needs, which we'll get into a little bit later. The mission of the Dean of Students office is to initiate learner-centered programs and services that foster a culture of care conducive to academic and personal development. What that means is we're focused on the learner, you as a student. We're providing support that not only helps you develop as a student and in that academic realm, but also as a person overall. You may interact with us for one of two reasons. First, you might reach out to us. You may be experiencing some personal difficulty and need to be connected to resources. You might have a question and you're not sure where to go. Maybe you need some clarity on a campus policy, or you may be concerned about the well-being of another student. And for any of those reasons, and then some, you may reach out to us. We might also reach out to you if someone in the campus community contacted us out of concern for your well-being, and they want to make sure that you're getting connected to the resources you need. So that could be a faculty member, a staff member, it could be another student, or it could even be your family and friends. The reason they would do that is to make sure you're getting connected to those resources, and we would do our best to help you do that. One important thing I want you to know is the fact that we are a mostly confidential resource. So you've probably heard about the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, otherwise known as FERPA, which protects the privacy of student educational records, and that does extend to the Dean of Students office. But like I said, we're a mostly confidential resource, so that means the large majority of what we talk about is going to stay within the Dean of Students office and will never leave our walls. However, in situations where a student discloses that they have experienced some kind of sexual violence or other harm, we are required to share this information with specific entities in order to provide the best support for students. There are some strictly confidential resources on and around campus who aren't required to share that information. So that would be Student Health Services, the Campus Violence Response Center, as well as the Guilford County Family Justice Center. I share this so that you know that there are a variety of options to support you. And I want to make sure that you know that no matter where you choose to go for that support, we're all doing our best to provide the very best options that we can. For more information about FERPA, you can visit ferpa.uncg.edu to read a little bit more. Now that we've covered the Dean of Students office, let's talk about the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. So the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities is an affiliate of the Dean of Students office. They focus on preparing students for lives of engaged citizenship and leadership in a global society through advocacy, education, and accountability. They encourage honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility, and value the responsibility that each student has to be an accountable member of the university community. As a UNCG student, you have some important responsibilities, and they're outlined in the university policies. The Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities handles all student conduct and academic integrity functions at UNCG. Students are expected to read all of those policies that I mentioned, and regardless of whether you do read them, you will be held accountable for them. So we encourage you to go ahead and take some time to read them over, and you can find them at osrr.uncg.edu. You also have some important rights. UNCG values free speech and expression for everyone on campus. As a part of the learning process, we encourage our students to engage in respectful conversations and ask questions of one another. We know that during your time at UNCG, you will meet people who have different viewpoints than your own, and we encourage you to continue to have those conversations and to grow your perspectives with respect and by asking lots of questions. You can review the policy on free speech at the website I mentioned before, osrr.uncg.edu. It's important that you take some time to review both of the websites listed right here. So that's osrr.uncg.edu, which I just mentioned, as well as academicintegrity.uncg.edu. Both of these sites explain a little bit about your rights when going through the student conduct process or the academic integrity process. I encourage you to read them thoroughly so that you're aware of what these look like, as well as what your responsibilities are to avoid going down one of these paths. All right, so now that we've covered the Dean of Students Office and the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities, let's talk about some other resources available to you on campus. So first is the Office of Accessibility Resources and Services, otherwise known as OARS. If you need accommodations, you want to connect with OARS as soon as possible so you can go ahead and get that process started. You want to include medical documentation with this, and it's important to know that IEPs and 504 plans are not accepted. You can check out the document that we've included in your Canvas folder for a little bit more information about the process of registering with OARS. And for any specific questions, you can reach out to OARS by visiting their website, oars.uncg.edu. Next is Student Health Services, which is made up of three main parts. The first is the medical clinic, and some of the things included here are primary care, women's health, and immunizations, although there are more. Second is the Counseling Center, which features both one-on-one and group counseling. And then finally, there is a full-service pharmacy on campus. Two things you need to be thinking about with connecting with Student Health Services right now is first, submitting your immunization records. The deadline for that is forthcoming, so you're going to want to reach out to them with any questions on that. Second, if you're receiving health insurance from an outside source, you want to waive the Student Blue health insurance by September 10th. Otherwise, there will be a charge to your account of more than $1,300, so please be sure you're getting on that as soon as you can. If you have any questions about either of these, you can visit shs.uncg.edu and reach out to Student Health Services. Next, let's talk about student well-being. It matters. This is something that's required for all new and first-year students to complete. There are 2 parts, and you'll receive information about that in your UNCG email. Please, please, please be sure that you complete those as soon as possible, because otherwise there will be a hold on your registration. So as soon as you see it, as soon as you're able, go ahead and knock it out so you don't have to worry about that later. Finally, we have included some more information in the Canvas folder in the form of some different documents that you can review. First is the Guide to the Dean of Students Office. While we have already gone over the Dean of Students Office, this document provides a little bit more detail that may be helpful. Next is tips for communicating with your professors. Your professors are part of your support system at UNCG, but it can feel a little bit intimidating to try to connect with them sometimes. So this document helps you figure out how you might go about talking with them about your needs as you're moving through the semester. And it's important to know that whenever you come to the Dean of Students Office with a concern, we will ask you first if you talk to your professors. That is always the best first course of action. And so be sure to review this. Even if you aren't sure that you feel nervous about talking with your professors, I definitely encourage you to go ahead and take a look at it, print it out, save it on your computer, whatever works for you, just in case it's helpful in the future. Third is the medical documentation review information. This is a process that you may see in your professor's syllabi. They may say that your medical documentation needs to be reviewed by the Dean of Students Office if you have to miss class for whatever physical or mental health concern. So this is something that's important to take the moment to take a look at, review what you might need. That way in the future, if you do find yourself needing this review, you're already prepared, you know what documents you need to include and all of that. Finally, I already mentioned the Office of Accessibility Resources and Services Guide. So please be sure to review that as well as these other 3 documents to be sure that you know all of the resources that we've talked about today. You're welcome again to save these to your computer, print them out so that you can reference them later down the line, just in case you need them. So that was a whole lot of information all at once, but we want to make sure that you know that we're here to help you understand it. It doesn't all have to make sense right this moment. But if you do have any questions, call us at 336-334-5514. You can also email us at deanofstudentsoffice.uncg.edu. For more information on the things we talked about today, you can visit deanofstudents.uncg.edu, and you can also follow us at UNCGDOS on Instagram and Twitter for more up-to-date information, as well as just to make sure that you're connected with the resources available on campus. Again, we are so excited that you've decided to join us, and we can't wait to get to know you a little bit better. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions or any concerns. Bye.